intro. Here we are live. Hello, welcome to Sex Talk A to Z with Shiloh and Stephanie. Hello, Shiloh.
Hi, Stephanie. How are you today?
I am great because we are doing A to Z, and today we're doing E for erotica. I love erotica. So fun to talk about. So fun. So, hello, our listeners. We really appreciate you being here. And as we guide you on this little weekly journey that we're on, right? It's our weekly little journey. No topic is too taboo or ever holds a new discovery. Sorry, we're broadcasting live, yes, right in the heart of desire and discovery here at SkitzoKitty in Palm Desert, California. Today, as every week, we've got something special lined up for you. Not only are we diving into the delicious depths of sex and sensuality, but we're also giving away a gift basket full of goodies each week. That is right. Yes, each week. Want to get your hands on it? Well, you make sure that you download the entry form available. There's a link in our comments. It's not a download. It just takes you right to the raffle form. Fill it out, complete it, drops it back into us. It's basically giving you authorization that we're going to do some emails to you maybe once a month. And make sure you tune in and get this done before 7 a.m. on Monday morning. That list will be done. And then the drawing will be every Tuesday in the middle of our podcast. We're going to do a wheel of names. Shiloh's put that together. Thank you so much, Shiloh. So we're going to do a wheel of names, and we'll pull that directly from our podcast each week. So don't forget to put your entry in. And remember that all names are going to be on the show. So everyone's name there. If you have a little issue, let us know. But we want you to be part of our program here. And if you can't join us live, there's no worries. You can catch our replays either in our live section on any of the platforms for Let's Talk About Sex with me, Stephanie Smith, or you can also go and check our podcast that'll come out about a weekish later. That's what I'm doing. So no big format on that, but otherwise, please subscribe, like, and follow. Leave us a comment, DM me. I would love it. And I get for those who say, oh, I can't do that because of someone will know, but typically you're just learning here. So I'm not really sure why you can't be part of our little learning tool that we're teaching. So anyway, my personal opinion. What do you think?
Absolutely. And, just back to that form real quick. Y'all can put in otherwise known as name if you would like to. Just make sure that you have your name on there in case you win. So if you just want to do Sassy Kitty, AKA, your real name. That way, we can throw that on the wheel instead. I mean, that would be super fun to have your AKA names. So
that
feel
would
free
be
to do
fun.
that.
Okay.
And then just to clarify, Stephanie, you said 7 a.m. on Monday. Is that 7 a.m. Pacific time?
Oh, yes. Thank you very much. It is my time usually, always, because most of the people that work with me live in California and Pacific Standard Time. So yes, 7 a.m. And I'll kind of post that, maybe do a little something on Sunday. We'll see, to remind you, but not really worried about it because it's your loss of not entering our raffle for weekly free gift. It's amazing. We have
is
products.
This basket available for us to look at?
Yes, and I forgot to bring it out today. I'm going to post a basket. I'm going to post it, a little reel about it. We'll do a little live about it, myself and one of the gals from here. So yes, I will do that with all the little goodies. I'll do a little basket opener of all the little goodies. So yeah, that sounds fun. Good. Thank you for that. And I'm going to take off my clinky bracelet because it's clinking. All right, let's talk about erotica. And what is it? Let's just give everyone a little definition. So it's a genre of literature, art, or media that explicitly designed to arouse sexual desire. It focuses on the sensual rather than the graphic and explicit depiction of sexual acts. Erotica aims to stimulate the imagination of the audience with romantic or sexual scenarios, often emphasizing a physical and emotional connection between characters. It can be expressed through various media, including books, film, photography, and painting. And one of the most known for everyone will know 50 Shades of Grey is erotica. But his books are erotic. It is a form of erotica, and it's a variation. So remember, anything in the sex industry, there's a variation. So that's why this A to Z is just one variation, because there's so many variations. So, but yes, you do your little eyebrow nose stir and tell us what that means.
Oh, I mean, as you said, erotica covers a lot. And, I mean, 50 Shades is a great example of erotica. I mean, it really brought it to the forefront, right? I mean, everybody, just got.
That was a pretty hot and heavy movie. You're going to not believe me, but I haven't seen it. I haven't watched one of them. It wasn't my thing. No, I did.
Have you read them?
It wasn't. I did read a few of them, and the books were, I heard, better, and that's the reason why I went to the books. That's what I was told. Now, of course, I did see parts and bits and pieces of the movie as it was, playing in trailers. Super beautiful and sexy and erotic. It's just, again, it's just like porn. People get an idea that that's what it's like all the time, and that's not really what life is about. This is playtime. That's why you play, So yeah, that's how I believe it. I mean, if someone thinks that erotica happens on a daily basis, I would probably, it's not going to happen. I mean, maybe for those people who are both into it, but it's probably not. I think it loses its, it's fun. And so it's not something that's done like that. But please go on and tell us what other authors you think are better than the 50 Shades of Greys or comparison or whatever you want to say.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did bring out a few of my favorite authors because I'm a book nerd, so I do have a bookcase of erotica. Surprise. I prefer, and I mean, this is a preference thing. Everybody has their own preference when it comes to erotica, whether you want to watch pornography or you want to read about it. I mean, it's really your choice, but erotica, as you mentioned, it can be, written. So, and not to down 50 Shades. I really don't want to down it. I think that it was great for getting erotica out into the mainstream. Yeah. But one thing that I want to caution everyone, when you're reading erotica and when you're reading the different scenes that you may want to reproduce, do a little research and make sure you're getting the right information and that you're doing it correctly. I want to throw that caution out there because, this is somebody's fantasy that they're putting in their head, and they may not be putting information out there that is actually, safe, so just make sure you're doing your research when you're trying a new thing. So,
and I think BDSM. That's a good point because they're not going to put in all the precautions inside of their erotica journal. So that is very good point that you should bring that. That's a very amazing. Good point.
Absolutely. And
because I think that, I have a lot of erotica books and a lot of times people just, and you think out loud, you're like, oh, that could go wrong or that, but that's only because I've played enough. But those who haven't played enough or don't know wouldn't know that. So that's very good. Nice.
Yeah,
I like that.
Exactly. I think that's a big point. So, with any erotica, just remember it's fantasy and, researching to make sure that you're doing it correctly is important. So, I
wanted to show because it can be anything. Like, here's my tequila bottle. This is a phallic tequila bottle. It resembles a penis at the tip. And this was actually built like that. Okay. I used to find these. I found this. It's called La Rosa Reposada.
That is so cool.
Right? So I love it. It's Tequila Reposada. Asombroso. Anyway, I love it. And I know you have one too.
I do too. Yes, this is my favorite one. I actually, when I was doing pure romance parties, I actually got this from one of my hostesses. So this little gentleman here, we're gonna call him a gentleman because when you lift up his little,
I love it. Disappears. Oh, yeah. I love it. I love it.
My wonderful hostesses gave that to me. I just love the things that people find.
I love it. I love it. And just to bring out more, there's plenty of books out there, and Enter is a new one as well for the 21st century people.
I did grab
ahead.
some books off of my bookcase, just in case, anybody wanted some recommendations on authors. So one that I found that she's pretty popular, Sylvia Day, kind of follows with that. She has the Bare to
There we go.
You series. You can't really tell.
Here, bend it down. So the light, because it's hard to see. What is it called?
So this is Bare to You. It is by Sylvia Day, and very popular series, and very good. It kind of follows, I feel like it kind of follows like that 50 Shades genre a little bit. So if you like 50 Shades, you'll probably like Bare to You. If you want something a little bit more BDSM than 50 Shades, not as vanilla, because 50 Shades is kind of vanilla. Sort of.
Is it?
We have Once Upon a Time, one of our favorite authors, who you might not think of as a erotica author, because she delved into the fantasy world of vampires. You know what I'm talking about? Anne Rice.
Oh, really?
Anne Rice, back in the 90s, she wrote the Sleeping Beauty series. And this is the first one. It was a trilogy, and then actually a couple years ago, they brought out a fourth one. So I just want to say that one.
Are those erotic stories? Erotic different
This is
stories?
a book. This is a book. And actually, so this is The Claiming of Sleeping Beauty. It's a Sleeping Beauty trilogy. And essentially it is what happened to Sleeping Beauty when the prince woke her up, and how he woke her up. And I just want to say, unlike 50 Shades, where you wait until chapter 5 for the juicy stuff, page 2. And it's only page 2 because the first page, has that. Here, let me see. Let me open this up for you real quick to show you. Because the first page has this big, huge, thing that blocks it off. So it only has this much words. So I just want you to know, all the juicy stuff starts right here.
Wow.
Just so you know. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
They get a little crazy. Another fun one that I found, this is a collection of stories. So these are kind of, along that whole fairy tale. I don't know why somehow I was grabbing out fairy tales, I guess, out of my bookcase here when I was grabbing some. But this is a Kingdom series collection, and it is by Marie Hall. And this has a few different stories. This one actually has Her Mad Hatter, Gerard's Beauty, and Red and Her Wolf. So actually, bad guys in the fairy tales.
Oh, fun. And that's fun because there's a lot of people that like all different types of fairy tales or erotica.
Yeah,
so
kind of adds to that.
Yeah.
Those Disney films, I mean, they're full of little innuendos, so to speak. So I feel like it's just natural that somebody decided that they needed to go ahead and throw out some erotica books on that too. Another favorite author that I have here is Tara Misu. Sorry, y'all. Tara Misu. This one's The Training. So just, other bondage. So
we'll put a little, I'll put a list in the comments of some of the books. You can send me a list if you want.
The nice thing. I was just going to add, one of the nice things that I've seen lately, when going shopping for books and looking for erotica, is bookstores are actually starting to break out the erotica. So it's not necessarily mixed in with the romance. So they're easier to find. So, when you're going, I mean, it's like looking for any other book, you trial and error, but there are a lot of really popular authors out there that we'll add that list for you.
Okay, cool. And then let's move on to, from the erotica where they can go and get it. And of course, any adult bookstore that they can get it. There's a lot. That's why I was showing the book that we have here at SkitzoKitty. But I want to know this. Is erotica only for people who have high sex drives?
No. Erotica's for everybody.
So you mean if I just
18
want
and
sex
over.
once a month? Yeah, if I just want sex once a month, I mean, I can still be into erotica.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
It's a story.
I think we have a lot of misconceptions. And so, breaking down some of these things about, and it's not dirty and it's not nasty. It's anything you want to make it. You can do as much or as little as you want.
Absolutely.
It doesn't have to be as crazy as 50 Shades of Grey. It can be super simple.
I mean, some
Simple.
people like the Harlequin romances of days gone by, to date ourselves a little
Yes.
bit. But I mean, that's romance
Yeah.
books are, a mild form of erotica.
Yes, they are.
They usually have a good sex scene in there. Just a couple, it's more on the vanilla side, but it's still, it's still a little bit of erotica. A little touch, more vanilla, but a little touch.
Yeah. So. Okay, so it can be for anybody. And is it more of a modern phenomena than is it just more? No, exactly.
No,
it's
people,
like medieval days back in the day. They had a lot of phallic symbols, a lot of fish with penises. I mean, we did medieval in school, and it's crazy the amount. Cleopatra. I mean, she was big into all that too, right?
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah.
I actually just watched a documentary, and I don't know the name of it, so don't ask me that, but I did watch a little documentary that I found that, just kind of talked about, back in medieval times, they were way more open about sex than, we are now. It's kind of funny, like just how we've come about over the years, in terms of sexuality, because back then, they were talking about how they do sexy jokes and very inappropriate jokes and make up poems and such, and share them at dinner and banquets and, whatever. Like, it's common dinner time stories, so definitely, we've definitely progressed towards the shameful part, which, just seems kind of backwards. I mean, when you think about, sexuality throughout history, I mean, Easter used to be the festival of fertility. It was a fertility festival.
So, everyone having fun and sex. Love it.
And then the church, well, and it just makes sense because spring, is fertile. Everything is, everybody, all the animals are coming out and mating, and, it's just spring is the time of fertility, planting and whatnot. So, that used to be what it was. The church came in and actually made it not as sexy. Yeah. So some fun things around that, but not to digress from our erotica conversation.
Yes. And, it is, I mean, let's just be clear. Sex is better without shame. It is way better. And if you can get over and work through that, it would be really good, to do that for yourself and for your partner. Yes. And then bring in some of this play stuff like erotica or dildos, like we've talked about, learning about your clit that we've talked about, all the different things, integrating that stuff because you become more adverse. You've learned more things and you now know that it is not shameful to understand your clit, to bring in a dildo, talk about erotica with your partner. It's very fun, and to read stories together, and even just do fantasy stories as part of your playtime. Super fun. I love that kind of stuff. So, yes. And I think that the more people, it does. It makes it fun, and you don't have to. It's not even about doing the things that are inside that book. It's just about reading it sometimes and just imagining it together and then playing and having a little role going or playful, whatever, however it ends up. But can go all different kinds of ways, all fun kind of ways. So yeah. Anyway, what else do we want to tell them? We showed them some books. They understand it's, film. It's more of a creative, artistic approach and emotional approach, and not more of the act of just bam, bam, penis, vagina entry, boom, sex,
right. Erotica is more, it really does focus on that fantasy part. So, I mean, that's where, researching and making sure, like, if you're trying to copy something, just research it a little bit and make sure you're doing it safely because, when you're thinking about fantasy, I mean, you can do anything when you write something that, when something is written. I mean, it's, it doesn't necessarily mean that it actually makes sense in the moment. So, just remember, it is a fantasy. It's
exactly.
And it's not a shameful thing.
No, not a shameful thing at all. No, there is no shame in sex. And you could also go and check out we have a podcast with Dr. Tina Shermer Sellers. Sex is Better Without Shame. She wrote a book about it. She talks a lot about that. I did a podcast with her. We're going to have her back on the show. But bottom line, go check out all of her stuff. it is better without shame. And if you can work through some of that trauma, it's really critical. It can be really beneficial for you, your partner, and honestly, for people around you when you are a little bit more comfortable with that part of yourself. It just changes a lot of other things about you, and it makes you it just changes. So being
Absolutely.
a
You have
little
a
bit
better
more
sex
open.
life
Yeah.
because you know what
Yeah.
you
And
want. And it's important to know what you want. And there's nothing wrong with knowing what you want and what you like and asking for
exactly.
what you like. Actually, asking for what
Right.
you like is kind of sexy.
Yeah. And people and men want to help if you're in a male, your partner, whoever it is, whatever type of partner you have, that partner wants to make sure that they satisfy you. That is 100% true.
Absolutely.
We are built to satisfy our partners. That's what we're
Yes.
built to do. So,
Yes. And if
all right,
they're
well, get out there and take a look at our link, fill out the raffle. If you want to pop in, do an order at SkitzoKitty, come in, mention the podcast, Sex Talk A to Z with Shiloh and Steph, and you could get a little free toy here, or a little, not toy, but a free item. They have little giveaways. So, but you have to mention the show if you come in. All right. And all right, well, that's it. What else do we want to talk about, my love? What's next week? We've got F
oh, next
for
week we said F is for what did we decide on? F
fellatio.
is for fellatio. That's right. I don't know
Fellatio.
why I was skipping and why I wasn't thinking about that. F is for fellatio.
Yeah. Fellatio. Yes. And because
Fellatio.
it is hard. Fellatio is so intricate, and everyone's, oh, what's the right way when it's the wrong way? And we're going to explain a lot of different things because we have a big thing going on in the background. Sorry. Can you hear that? Did you hear
I
it?
heard a little bit, but
Oh, okay. That's good that it doesn't come through. Okay. So bottom line next week, fellatio. Come back for more. We're going to do another raffle each week. So keep coming back. Keep learning more. And let me do my I'm going to do my little ending because this goes into a podcast. So I like to kind of do a close. So anyway, we've reached the end of Sex Talk A to Z with Shiloh and Stephanie at SkitzoKitty in Palm Desert, California. It has been an absolute pleasure to be here today. We've laughed, we've learned, and hopefully we've lit a spark that'll keep you glowing until we meet again. So don't forget, if you've missed any part of today's live show, find us in the live section or catch up from the podcast platform a week or so later. Your feedback is our fuel. So subscribe, like, follow, and drop us a line. And blah, blah, blah. That's what I'm doing today because I'm tired, because I went to Joe Coy on the weekend. And we laughed and we laughed and belly laughed and belly laughed. So, Joe, we did laugh all weekend and I've still been laughing. So, thank you. Thank you for the laughs. And I did reach out to him and he reached back. So, thank you, Joe. I do hope that you like and follow Let's Talk About Sex with Stephanie Smith and Sex Talk A to Z with Shiloh Hobby every Tuesday live, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time at SkitzoKitty Palm Desert. So thanks for joining me, Shiloh. Until next
thank
time,
you.
sweetie. Mwah,
Thanks for having
mwah,
me.
mwah.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for being on the show and having fun with me each week. Okay.
Absolutely.